Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 20th. This week, we are just going to jump right in here, Aquarius, and see what's going on for you. You have this card that says you're a lot tougher than you think you are. I'm laughing because I definitely think that's true, Aquarius. And you have the Tower. Again, everyone has had the Tower again. It's just going to keep happening. So to the people that don't want to hear it, again, I'm sorry, but I just want to make people aware that, for the next 20 years, there's going to be a lot of Tower moments. These are going to be global Tower moments, and they're probably going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We've already seen these banks collapsing. It's going to be more. There's going to be more and bigger. This is nothing. So, again, I feel that if you learn how to work with the energy, you could become rich, successful, whatever. But again, you're going to have to do your research. None of this stuff is just going to magically happen for you. So I keep encouraging people, learn as much as you can about money. Learn about what money is and where it came from and blah, blah, blah. And it could be, that could be very profitable for you. But I also feel that for some of you that you are clearly going through a big change, and we're not just talking about this is a major change. No, this right here is an extremely significant change. I always say that I consider these two cards, especially if they're coming up together, I consider this to be the most powerful combination in the tarot, the Judgment card and the Tower, especially if they are touching. So they're touching in your reading, and to me it represents a major revelation, a major wake-up call, a major new understanding, a major paradigm shift, something major happening in your life. And so there's clearly a big change. Sometimes also when we get the Judgment card, it's kind of like the Tower has to happen for us to be able to make this change to the Judgment card. Those people are normally standing in their coffins on the Judgment card. Inside the coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is your new life. Obviously, if you're going from something that has been established for a long time to something brand new, that is going to cause a Tower moment. And again, I always like to remind people, Towers don't have to be bad. There are plenty of Tower moments where you go through the Tower moment and it's just you're just changing. It's not some big deal. So, I kind of feel there is some sort of revelation or realization that you could be having at this time. I do think for some of you, it's how do you want to be, remembered? I know that's kind of deep with this Three of Pentacles if it wants to focus, but, Three of Pentacles is a card of quality work. He isn't just doing his job. He's kind of doing a great job. He is going above and beyond. But for a lot of you, I kind of feel this has to do with breaking certain patterns in your life. Again, I'm cheating a little bit because just based off your astrology, I think that a lot of you could be making significant changes to patterns in your life, especially Neptune and Pisces. It's only one sign away from you, and then it's going to be moving into Aries and, in 2026. So I think that your years coming up, there's going to be a lot of these moments where you don't want to just do things just to do them. That's part of what's popping into my head. It's you don't want to just go through the motions. I think you're realizing here, pretty significant realization as well here, Aquarius. What did I say at the beginning of the reading? I don't even know what I called you at the beginning of the reading, but what I'm saying, it feels weird coming out of my mouth. And but what I would say is I feel you are. It's you're paying very close attention, I see here, to not just going through the motions. It's again, I feel you want to have more than just life. It's you want to, taste all the colors, right? You want to experience everything there is to experience. And I feel you're almost seeing that life can be, significantly better. But I also feel with that card that says you're a lot tougher than you think you are, that there are, and also the Tower and the Judgment card here. It's almost some of you could be leaving certain things behind, but we're talking about big things like family. And it's not that I'm not suggesting you're cutting your family out. What I'm suggesting is maybe you grew up in a small town and you're moving away, and but maybe nobody does that, but you are, that can be a big change for people. Maybe you're the first person to go to college or the first person to start a business in your family. Maybe you're going to be the first millionaire, or maybe you're going to be the first to go to another country or something like that. It's there's a million examples floating around in my head if you can't tell. So there's a million things that I think you could do, but I also do feel that it's going to require you to be tough. With the Three of Pentacles, Death card, I mean, are you kidding? Major change coming in for you here, Aquarius. Significant change, something happening basically in your life. With the Judgment card, you have the Justice card. Yeah, things become more fair. It's not like things are becoming fair. I think you're just getting better at kind of like matching the energy. It's like you're getting better at doing the things that are necessary. It's funny, I was watching some video on YouTube here, and it was about like some kid who wanted to be an actor, but it's like he wasn't doing anything to become an actor. It's like, he wasn't doing the, studying or, acting, which is what he wanted to do in the first place. He wasn't like going to acting classes or any of that other stuff. It's like we have to become the thing we want to be before we can be it, right? And I feel like that's the energy that you are balancing out. It's like it's like you're living the life of what you want before you have it, which is good. With the Tower, you have the Eight of Wands. There could be surprise communication coming in this direction. I would say that if there is some sort of surprise communication, that it could be something that sets you free. So it's kind of like popping into my head that it could be closure. It could be a person from the past. We have the Judgment card here who's providing closure. I do not think you're going back to a person, but I do feel that for a small percentage of you, there could be something here that kind of like turns things around or, sets you free, whatever you want to call it. In the area of the unexpected, you have this Fish card. You have this card that says fish, but it says pay attention to your dreams. Yes, I feel that there's like a lot you want to accomplish, but I feel like it's asking you. I get such a weird feeling here, It's like, some of you could be afraid of your own shadow. And, if you've ever had a beta fish right here, you can put a mirror up to a beta and it will start trying to fight with itself in a mirror. And that is popping into my head with this card. So, I don't really feel, by the way, I don't really feel there's anything unexpected coming in for you unless it's communication from a past person. Then I just think maybe you're not expecting it. But other than that, I don't think there's anything unexpected here this week for you. But again, I do feel like there's some things that you need to face. Why? You need to face these things so that you can, Nine of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Wands, but so that you can end a never-ending nightmare. Seven of Wands is like going to bed, having a nightmare, waking up and being stuck in a nightmare. So I feel that a lot of you could be looking, and this is probably why you're making such a big change in your life, because, usually once we realize that we're on the hamster wheel, we're just, or we're having Groundhog's Day, every single day is the same, right? That's usually when we kind of like wake up and start making the changes, and we kind of like do the things that we need to do to, move on to something bigger and better. And we definitely see bigger and better going this direction. Celebrations, happiness. The Chariot, he's going into the future. You have this future card right here. So I definitely see a lot of you kind of like, making these decisions to break free from Groundhog's Day type of situations. You have the Eight of Wands. Like I said, for some of you, I feel like this could be communication. You do have the Eight of Wands and the Three of Cups. Both cards together, to me, represent socializing. So if you have any opportunities to like socialize, get out there, meet new people, I would definitely say do it. This could lead to anything. I wouldn't really call this a love reading, by the way. It could lead to love, but again, I feel like it would just probably help you like get out of your head to socialize with other people. I really don't think this reading is talking about love. Again, and obviously, if you're going through a major transition or transformation, which it looks like you have every single card here that could represent that, then you probably don't want love anyway until you've finished the transition. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of knowing that you can be successful. And so I feel like the deeper you believe that something will be successful, the more likely it is that it will be successful. So I feel like you need to believe something. I also feel like you need to protect something at this time. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your mid-monthly reading. I'm pretty sure it was you that in your mid-monthly reading, I was saying something about like keep your ideas to yourself at this time. It's not that you can't share them at some point, but there might just be a lot of people who, I really feel it's just people who don't understand, like, who you and what you're doing. And so those people can sometimes ruin a good idea. With the Nine of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a card of hard work and also stability. I feel like you're looking for stability, but King of Pentacles also is a card of convention. He represents the way things have always been done. So I feel for a lot of you that it's kind of like saying with that Nine of Swords, for you to change, you have to change. So I feel like you have to leave some comfort zones. I feel it would be a good time to try new things. Obviously, if you're thinking about making this big change, going to another country, shaking up your world in any way, that will probably lead to success for you. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is a card of commitment, and it can, of course, represent marriage, but really it's a card of freedom. And so I feel for a lot of you that there's going to be a lot of freedom opportunities that come in for you through like teamwork, working with other people, or celebrating with other people. I always use the story that, I was stuck for like 3.5 years. It might have been 4 years, but I was stuck in my life. I didn't allow myself to do anything at all, period. Literally, I was like a hermit living in my room. I kid you not. And it wasn't until I started like hanging out with friends again, until I started going for walks and things, that I started getting all these ideas. And it's like when we isolate ourselves, it's like then there's no energy coming in. There's no new ideas. There's no new information, right? So I kind of feel like this is encouraging socialization, having fun, doing all those things. With the Seven of Wands, you have this Ace of Cups here. Like I said, there could be a little bit of love energy. I don't think it's a major focus of your reading, but I do feel it's available. Of course, you have the Ace of Cups twice in your reading. But what I would also say is that the Seven of Wands with the Ace of Cups would kind of represent protecting your heart, or protecting something that is close to your heart. Like maybe you have an idea or have something that is very fulfilling. And again, I would protect whatever that idea is. Next, you have this North Node card. It says future on it. I'm noticing all these sevens in your reading. There's a couple of seven cards here. You have 2 sevens, and then you have several cards that add up to 7. You have this right here is 7. 2 plus 5 is 7. So you have a bunch of sevens showing up here, and it's standing out to me. To me, sevens can represent internal fears that don't exist. So again, this was like another card that kind of like gave me the idea that some of you could be fearing your own shadow. It's almost, that's almost like what it's like, So I feel for some of you, there really is no good answer. You know what I mean? It's like you can watch all these YouTube videos about personal development and everything about facing your fears, but you know what I have found the best solution to facing a fear is to face the fear. There is no like secret trick or anything. It's like, I think ripping the Band-Aid off and just doing it, whatever you're afraid of, is like the only way. Basically you could look at it as like exposure therapy, and maybe you have to start small. I do think that is good advice, is like, if you have something you're afraid of, start small and then work your way up to something bigger, right? You have the 3 cups here. Definitely a celebration coming in for you. So I do feel like a lot of you could be having new celebrations in the future. I really get socializing here. Like I feel like and it's like, you see that baby bird that's popping out of that egg. I feel for those of you that want like business ideas, or that need ideas on what to do in work or your career, or need advice, it's almost like there's something that will be hatching out of interaction. But it's like you're not going to get the information if you don't get out of the house, if you don't go socialize, if you don't go do the things that you need to do. So again, I would encourage this. You have the Two of Swords next. Two of Swords about leaving a comfort zone. And then we see this right here, the Chariot. It's kind of interesting. Everybody's had the Chariot, and for like a couple weeks now, I've noticed that the Chariot has been coming up quite a bit. So it definitely seems to be a collective energy. It makes sense with the astrology as well. The Chariot is all about setting yourself apart. And again, Pluto is moving into your sign. And I would say that with Pluto in your sign, I always say Pluto in Aquarius is a collective. But as individuals, we need to try to make sure that we don't just fade away into the collective. So it's not like one or the other. It's both. Plus, we have a lot of astrology that is saying we don't need one or the other. We need both of everything. Of everything that exists, right? And if you notice, like the news, the government is like divide and conquer, like trying to break everything up into small pieces so we don't work together. It's like we need to work together, but we also need to be individuals. We need to embrace our own uniqueness. And, I definitely see that here in this reading. Like, I feel like it's saying, don't be afraid with that Chariot and also this Ace of Cups to, value certain things. And it's okay if people don't agree with you. It's okay if your family doesn't understand the changes you're making. But the whole point of Pluto and Aquarius, especially for you, Aquarius, is to be an example. The whole point is to not care what people think and to do it anyway. And then by being a living example, you're working with the energy. So I always like to say that, my readings, I like to focus on the energy and how to work with it. And so, again, the down and dirty, Chris's crappy astrology tarot is to work with that Pluto energy, is be an example for other people. That's all you have to do. With the 3, and you will be rewarded. With the 3 cups, you have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm telling you, I think that there could be, like, for those of you that are stuck, I'm telling you right now, get out there. Go hang out with friends. Go, if you get invited to a social event, go. There could, like, it looks to me like you could be getting an answer to a problem that you've been having, and you might not even realize it. So, go. With the 2 of Swords, you have the 7 of Swords here. I do feel like a little bit of closure here, or someone needs to provide closure. And I do feel like a lying situation. Two of Swords is a stalemate, two people who are stuck. If you're dealing with a person who you're not talking to, this could be because of like closure issues or whatever. I kind of feel like you both think each other are liars, is what I'd say. That's only going to be true for some of you. And again, I'm not taking sides here, Aquarius. I'm just reading the cards and what I'm getting intuitively. But I do feel like if you don't want to talk to this person, totally understand. But if you are watching this reading and you want closure, then, I would open up here because I do think it would provide closure. You are not going back to this person. I'm telling you, just looking at these cards, again, you're making this transition, you're changing, your energy doesn't even match this person anymore. But if you want closure, I would just go for it. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is about taking a risk, and it can be a card of winning at all cost. And again, that could be why there's like no closure between you and another person. It's like both people are stuck in a stalemate with the Two of Swords. So it's like someone has to break eventually is kind of what I'm getting here. But it's like nobody wants to lose. That's like what I'm getting with the Two of Swords and the Five of Swords. It's like both people in this situation are not opening up, and it's like neither side wants to break or be the loser. And again, it's like, how stuck do you want to be for the rest of your life is what I would say. For the rest of you, I would just keep moving on is what I would say there. Finally, in the end, for the good stuff, this is going to represent all the good stuff coming in for you. You have the Serpent card. It says a sly and subtle approach is needed. Again, I would keep things to yourself. Snakes also represent transformation. They shed their skin. So you are changing on a very deep level here. You have the Chariot, the Five of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. The Chariot, of course, is a victory. He's also normally leaving behind the city on the card behind him, he's walking away from it, or he's charging away from it, I should say. And it's so that he can find his own unique place in the world. It's so that he can, find some place where he can stand out. And I really feel that for you. Like finding a way to be unique is going to be important. You have this Five of Wands here. Five of Wands is a card of kind of like competition. And so I feel like for a lot of you that, I just would ignore competition. But again, this is showing up in the good stuff. So it looks to me like you're actually maybe beating the competition if there is competition. But again, it's going to come through being unique, standing out, doing things differently, being different than other people and stuff like that, right? It's like if you're the same, then things kind of get, watered down. So don't worry about like being like someone else. Don't be like someone else is like what I'm trying to say. You have this Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is a card of dreams. So I feel like you always get this card with me. I'm pretty sure it's you. And it's like, I feel because like for weeks I've been saying to you that you need to bring the Seven of Cups down to earth. I do feel like you are kind of like bringing some sort of dream down to earth here, Aquarius. With the Chariot, you have the Hermit. The Hermit is a card of accomplishing something. He's normally standing at the top of a mountain, and he is kind of got his light in a lantern. And so I feel like you're leaving hermit mode. I do feel like some of you maybe have been kind of closed off, which we kind of said earlier. And now you're, coming out into the world, or maybe you're just being more social, right? You have the Judgment card again. So clearly this is like a significant wake-up call for you this week. I feel like you're answering your calling as well. The Five of Wands again says that you could be making yourself unique. And again, definitely don't compare yourself to other people with this reading. Five of Swords. Five of Swords can kind of be a card. It's not like really, but kind of can be a card of comparing. So can the Two of Swords. Those two people, normally it's a lady. She's got the two swords, crossed over her heart. And the two swords could represent like two ideas, but there's an island behind her. That island behind her could represent a third place, somewhere she has never been before, or an idea that she's never even thought of before, and it could just be a better idea. So don't be afraid of like looking for other things to do. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups here. I feel like this is, again, more talking about your heart. The Queen of Cups, to me, represents your heart, like I said, and kind of like listening to your heart. I also feel like you need to kind of like trust your intuition at this time as well. We're going to pull 5 main themes now here, Aquarius, and we're going to see what is going on for you. You have this Prison card. I do feel like some of you remember I said at the beginning of the reading that you feel a little bit stuck. These Prison cards to me always just represent one opportunity. Or they kind of represent only like one way of doing things or thinking about things when there are many opportunities, kind of like the Eight of Swords, So I feel like you need to realize that you're not stuck and that you could easily set yourself free. But I do feel like you're going to have to be like brave. Next, you have the Scholar card. Yes, I said it earlier I said something about learning. And I feel like you need to learn as much as you can about whatever it is that you want to do at this time. Again, if you want to become something, don't just dabble. I feel like you need to do as much as you possibly can, because that's where the success is going to come from. Next, you have this Soldier card. Yeah, I kind of feel like some of you are changing your routine, or there's some sort of change to your daily routine. It could be very beneficial. When I first started this channel, I used to do these readings at like 9 o'clock at night, but now I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night, so I do these in the morning. And, it's like, but even at that, even if I didn't go to bed at 9 o'clock, it's just a better time. Doing these in the morning is just so much better for me. So again, I kind of feel that for you, where if you have a job, if you have a business, it's like there might be a change to your routine. That's really what I'm getting on this card, that makes you much more successful. But I'm also getting like energy wise, it's like I feel like it kind of changes your energy, and it's just better for you. Next, you have this gift card. I do feel like there could be some gifts coming in for you. I also feel like some of you, this could be the gift of closure. I know that doesn't sound like a gift, but if you are getting closure from a person, I don't know, it feels like I'm £1,000,000 being taken off my back in your reading here, Aquarius. So if someone is setting you free, or if you're getting closure, I really feel it could be like really setting you free. And finally, you have this Fortune card. Yes, love it. There could be like good fortunes or more money. You have the Ace of Pentacles. You have really good money cards here. Ace of Cups twice. Even though Ace of Cups isn't a money card, Ace of Cups represents anything that we put our heart into. So if you're working on a project, a business, a calling, with the Judgment card and the Tower twice, except the Tower, just the Judgment card twice, but you have the Tower. If you put your heart and soul into it, I feel like there are going to be great fortunes for you here with this card. So there you go, Aquarius. Pretty good reading. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.